Hello and welcome back to Tacarsha Talks Tons. I'm Tacarsha and I'm about to talk tons. I'm also going to do my laundry because I think that it's really satisfying to watch people do their laundry, and also I need to do it. I actually took a heap of stuff out of my drawers because they weren't folded. I just chucked them in there. So we're gonna do that. I don't have much planned. I filmed an entire video about how much I don't think that you should allow your kids on social media or post your kids on social media, and then the file corrupted. It was like a 45-minute long video, and then it just gone. So I don't really have too much of a plan as to what I'm going to talk about today. I was thinking that I could talk about some of my favourite films and how absolutely obsessed I am with them, but when you get me onto topics like that, I tend to never shut up and I would be here for the next 6 hours. So maybe I will just pick one film that is my favourite, and that film will be Silence of the Lambs. Let me tell you my Letterboxd top 4 first, because I think that will give you a little bit of an insight into my mind. Fucking hello. So my Letterboxd top 4 is Silence of the Lambs, Bones and All, Whiplash, and Bo Burnham's Inside. 2 of those 4 are movies centering cannibalism. I absolutely adore cannibalism as a device to show obsession and infatuation and desire. And I think that it shows such a good juxtaposition between what cannibalism can be with Silence of the Lambs and with Bones and All. If you haven't seen Bones and All, I beg you to watch it. It is one of the best films, dare I say, ever made. Timothée Chalamet in it is crazy good. Like, it's difficult, and this was like peak Timothée Chalamet being a good-looking guy, so seeing him be ugly is it's fun. So obviously in Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter is a cannibal. Hannibal the cannibal. In Bones and All, both of the main characters are cannibals, and in one of them it's used as desire, and it's almost like a predatory type of desire, and the other one is used as him being a serial killer. I think that Silence of the Lambs was one of the most revolutionary films ever made, and I think that it still is. The idea of having the serial killer be a cross-dresser and having it be this is not a trans woman, like he is not a trans woman, he does this because he wants to completely dominate women, and wearing their skin is the most final type of domination. It was crazy in the 90s for them to make that in a film, and somehow it's still crazy now to have that type of defense against trans women, which is insane because, like, I've never met a trans woman that wears women's skin. I've yet to meet a trans woman that is a serial killer. Call me crazy. So there's one particular scene that I really want to talk about because I remember getting full body chills when I watched it, and it was a film that we watched in my year 12 English class, and I remember I did not shut up. I was probably the most annoying person to be in class with in English class in year 12 because I had just left a school that made me, and I finally felt like I was able to speak my mind, and I did in my other high school, but in my senior year, it was like, I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to never ever shut up. So it's the scene where Hannibal Lecter gets a meal and he requested lamb. And the teacher was like, why do we think that he requested lamb? And for me, immediately, it was like, that is the closest thing that he can get to eating Clarice without consuming her flesh. Something that they really bonded over was the fact that Clarice had lambs as a kid, and that she was so in love with these lambs, and they meant so much to her. The only thing that Hannibal could do to feel some type of connection to Clarice was to eat the lamb. He wanted to know what it would be like to consume a part of her without actually having to eat her. And that is just so... like, is that not what it's all about? I think that you can take that out of the wrapping of cannibalism and put it into whatever. Like, when you're talking to someone and they're like, oh, this is my favorite book, and you so desperately want to know what it's like to be inside of their mind that you will read that book, and you will, or even more, I think that this one's going to be super common for a lot of you, is someone makes a playlist and they send it to you, and especially if that playlist was made specifically for you, combing through the lyrics and listening to the songs religiously. Oh my god. Anyway, and listening to the songs religiously to try and find some type of meaning, to try and consume whatever feelings they were feeling when they made this. And I think that that's exactly why Hannibal felt the need, I'm not sure, I think it was his last meal, wanted his last meal, or a meal, well, it was supposed to be his last meal, obviously, that didn't work out, to be Clarice. She was, like, even in the whole, oh, he wouldn't kill me, I can't explain it, but he would think that it was rude. In a way, he's already symbolically devoured you, Clarice. Like, he's already met a mind that is, as in his opinion, as intellectual as him, can grasp what he wants, can hold a conversation with him without having to belittle her, without having to completely control her. Why would he need to eat her? He's already dominated her in his weird, sick, sadistic games of mental domination. It is just fantastic. I would be here forever if I was talking about everything that I loved about Silence of the Lambs. It's such a beautiful film, and then it also speaks, it's just so progressive. Like, it also speaks on how shitty it was for Clarice's character to be a woman in the 80s or 90s in the police force, and, like, you know, ACAB, but it's everything. It's not just the police force, is it? The way that she's belittled and she's spoken down to and she's dismissed. Oh, she's so dismissed. So for her to be the only person that this serial killer feels enough respect for, that he would be willing to open himself up to her, is just so fantastic. I think that my favorite part about films, and my favorite types of films, are ones that explore unrelenting devotion and obsession in such a way. And Silence of the Lambs, in my opinion, was the blueprint, you know? Like, Silence of the Lambs walked so bones and all could run. It is, for a while as well, my favourites included Baby Teeth, which is an Australian film. So good. Not a cannibal film. So good. I really, really highly recommend that everyone watches it. Maybe this video will be me saying films I love and giving film recommendations. Because it's kind of seeming like that this is what it is. Whiplash, if you haven't seen Whiplash, what are you doing? I have never spoken to someone that has watched Whiplash and didn't like it. If you didn't like Whiplash, actually please message me or comment or whatever explaining to me why you didn't like Whiplash. I would be so interested to know. I watched, is it Black Swan with Natalie Portman? Oh my god, I can't believe I don't remember what it's called. Let me ask my mum. Mama? What's that ballet movie with Natalie Portman? I thought so, but I just wanted to double check. Could you Google it for me? I love my mommy. Thank you, I love you. I love my mommy. Black Swan. When I watched Black Swan, I left a thing on Letterboxd saying infantilized child to obsessed artist. You will always be famous. And I agree with that so much. Watch Black Swan as well. I think that you'll find a theme in all of the films that I recommend is obsession in a really dirty, gritty way with anything gets me good. And I think that that's because I feel such like a kinship with that type of obsession, even though, well, maybe I've recently learned that my perception of myself is vastly different to the perception that other people have of me. I always thought that I was very self-aware. After my nervous breakdown, hey chat, I'm starting to think that maybe I'm not. Oh my god, my baby. Anyway, so I've always felt that type of obsession with everything. I find something that I love and I just absolutely sink my claws into it. And unfortunately for me and everyone else, that type of obsession for me is human beings and understanding exactly what makes them go and what makes them tick. When I meet someone new that I feel has a depth to them that I haven't met in anyone else, it's not even in like I need to be them, I need everything about them. It's like, I want to sit down with them and I want to know exactly what makes them tick, exactly how their brain works, exactly why it is that they feel this intense obsession. What is it that is the driving force of this obsession? Is it being perfect? Is it being perceived to be perfect? Is it a desire to achieve something you feel hasn't been achieved by other people? I love it. And in Black Swan, that is what we follow. We follow, and the same with Whiplash, we follow someone destroy themselves in the pursuit of perfection. And it brings up the conversation of, was it worth it? But like, for a moment I was perfect. Do you know what I mean? I would throw my entire life away for a brief second at feeling like what I was doing really mattered, that I was being seen as perfection, that everything in the moment, it didn't matter if my hands were bleeding and I was broken, and the moment after my life ended, in the very, very brief moment that I got to exist in that circumstance, I was perfect. Throwing the rest of your life away for that is just... And I know that this might seem really surface level, but it is just it's just something that I am so unbelievably passionate about. It's the same, like, and that is why I feel so much about cannibalism, and that is this devotion. It is a devotion that is so all-consuming, is even if I have to kill the one person that I love most and would do anything for the brief moment that I am consuming their flesh, I am one with them. I am so devoted to this person that I am able to become them by consuming their flesh, by consuming their perfection. I'm almost able to feel that perfection for myself. At least that's how I sort of take it, is, and you know, like, that is sort of what cannibalism is as a device, is becoming one with someone in whatever sense that you want to. And it's just so fantastic, isn't it? Like, it's just beautiful, and it's harrowing, and it's grotesque or gory or whatever word you want to use for it. but it's real. Human beings have this unbelievable desire to understand each other and understand themselves, and turning that into a literal consumption, a literal all-consuming event is so fantastic, so smart. And I think that that's why vampires are so popular in society. Is, I love you so much, I would let you drain my body of blood. All I ask is that I can feel your lips on my skin. Like, do you know what I mean? Is that not just so... Another film that is one of my favourite films in the entire world that I'm pretty sure everyone's watched, if you haven't, you should, is Ponyo. No cannibalism in that film, but it is an obsession. These childhood best friends, she's a magical being and she would give it all up at such a young age so she could be best friends with her best friend. Hello? That is so cutesy poopsy. So cutesy poopsy. What's another film? I could also do books. Kind of similar to Madonna in a Fur Coat, one of my favourite books that I've recently read. Here it is, right here. He meets this woman, honestly, and this is what I explained to one of my friends' friends the other day when we were talking about books. I said to him, Madonna in a Fur Coat is everything that White Nights by Dostoevsky, whatever, bro, wishes it could be. Madonna in a Fur Coat follows this guy who sees a painting and he becomes so obsessed with it. He's from, I'm not sure, I want to say like Syria or something, but I think I'm wrong about that. He moves to, I'm going to hiccup again. God, this is so humiliating. He goes to Germany, Berlin, and he's like low-key a bit of a loser, you know, like he doesn't really like himself, he doesn't really like his job, he doesn't really like his family. He's always felt like a bit of a shut-in, and he spends a lot of time inside of his own mind, and he's obsessed with reading, which is why I felt very much White Nights from Dostoevsky, because the main character is the same guy. He sees this painting of a woman in a fur coat and he is like, that is like Mother Mary. She is beautiful. She is perfect. I am obsessed with her. And he goes and he looks at the painting every single day for hours, from the opening of the museum to the end of the museum. Along the way, he meets the Madonna. He meets the woman in the fur coat and he falls so in love with her. And she says, we'll just be friends. We follow the story of them constantly being like, no, we're just friends. No, we're not. Oh, we'll spend the night together. No, we won't. They finally, if you know what I mean, next day, she gets on a train to go do something, to be with someone, part of her family, and he has to go do something else, right? And then he doesn't hear from her. And it devastates him, so he doesn't really give a shit about anything anymore. He goes and he gets this job, and this is all in the form of sort of like a confession that he's written in a diary, that his significantly younger co-worker is reading as he lays on his deathbed. So he writes this whole confession, and he says that my life was awful and ruined until it was done. And it was because he saw a woman that looked just like her, and he thought that he saw his Madonna in a fur coat. He's married, he has a heap of kids, he gets treated terribly by his family. He thought he saw his Madonna in a fur coat, and it wasn't her. And he couldn't stop thinking about her. And then he saw her cousin, or her, I think it was her cousin, Frau, Miss something, doesn't matter. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, we fell away from each other. I never heard from her again. And she's like... And then he just gives up. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to fight his sickness anymore. He's ready to let it go. He's ready to give up on life, because the entire life that he built in silent prayer that his love, his true love, would find her way back to him, was for naught. she was never there waiting. She was never there to impress. Just so much yearning. Another yearning book is Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. That was so good. It follows a young lesbian. I would recommend, if you've ever had any sort of like question of your sexuality and it genuinely causes you a little bit of discomfort to focus on, I probably would say maybe don't read Sunburn just yet. I read it and it reminded me of a relationship that I had in high school with this girl who was just, she was sunshine, you know, like she would walk into a room and it was undeniable. She was probably one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen in my entire life. And for some reason, she liked me back. We shared a kiss twice. One at a party and then another one at schoolies in year 12. And then I think I saw her maybe 3 more times after that. And I think about her often. I was so infatuated with this girl throughout my relationship. And for some reason, like, she wanted to be my friend. And then just we watched each other date other people and it not be the right time. But the yearning in this book is so real. Like, there's a part where she's explaining that she's watching, I don't remember their names, but she's watching her friend eat something and it's gross. She's really involved and infatuated with watching the way this girl chews and seeing the food broken down in her mouth and how she just wishes she could be that food, or she could feel those lips, or she could see the world from that perspective. And that's exactly how I felt, you know. That's so real and true to, I feel, for one, being that young and feeling so much desire at 17. And just, anyway, I don't know what I was thinking about. I started thinking about the girl and my mind has kind of gone a little bit blank. Hello? Stop looking at me. This is embarrassing. I only have 3 more things to fold, so I'm probably going to take a break, rewatch this, and be like, oh dear, and then just post it anyway, because I don't give a damn. I don't give a fat rat's clacker. Another, obviously, normal people, controversial opinion. The only book I haven't read so far from Sally Rooney is Intermezzo. This is probably going to be on my to read next. I have 3 books going at the moment. Such a terrible habit. I don't love Conversations with Friends, and I don't love Beautiful World, Where Are You? Normal People is one of my favourite books in the entire world. I think that it is, I am both Connell and Marianne very, very intently, in a way that, like, my best friend and I read the book at similar times and also watched the show together. And it was very much like, and I was like, thank God that, you know, I don't have this type of person in my life. And she was like, are you joking? You literally are that type of person in your life. How mean is that? Like, okay, damn. Anyway, so I relate to both of those characters so much. And that's another type of obsession that I am addicted to. Is motherfuckers that it's miscommunication, loosely, but it's like, it's miscommunication in the yummiest way of like, how was I supposed to communicate that? How was I supposed to communicate that with you without being insane, without it making you not attracted to me anymore? It's brilliant, isn't it? Like, it's literally lush. I loves it. Normal People is a really good book. It's also a really good show. It is, I was really shocked at how much I was like, wow, this is the book. This is insane how much this is the book. And I hated so much being like, when's season 2 of Normal People? Huh? Like, actually, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you expect to happen? Like, what could come out of a season 2? I think that people are so obsessed with not wanting to give up on their favorite characters that they... And this is kind of like... This is sort of going to be, like, real for everything. You're so obsessed with an ending being perfect to yourself that you can't just let something be. You can't just allow it to have existed how it existed and then, like, live and let die. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want there to be a season 2, but there's no more story to tell. Maybe you didn't like the ending. The ending wasn't made to be liked. It was made to end it. God, I actually kind of cooked with that. I was talking to my therapist a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying how she said something or another, and I was like, wow, that was really good. Like, that was really, like, wow, you kind of ate with that. And she said, honestly, sometimes I'll say stuff, and then like, my client will leave, and I'll be like, that came off the dome. Anyway, so yeah, normal people know season 2. Even with Tell Me Lies, everyone hated the ending. I thought it was fine. I did not want another season. What would the next season consist of? Like, it was all wrapped up relatively nicely. But I'm like I have commitment issues. What? I know. I have commitment issues in such a sense of, like, when I'm reading a novel, this is something I've only recently stopped doing. Who clapped? Who cheered? Okay. I would read, like, the last 4 pages just to make sure I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. When I'm watching a TV series, you would have to break my fucking knees and like, tape my eyes open to make me watch the last 3 episodes of a TV show. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. I didn't just fart. That was me cupping my foot. Don't. I didn't fart. It was not a fucking fart. My foot got cupped by my hand and it made a farting noise. Seriously. Yeah, I can't do it. I think that's why I love movies so much more than TV shows, is because, like, I don't have to commit. I don't have to get my heart broken. I honestly think that normal people in New Girl and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I don't even think Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they might be the only TV shows I've watched all through. Like, actually. Anyway, I said that I was gonna go. I don't know how long ago that was, but... Bye! Hello. The silence in my room after I finish filming is harrowing. Baby. Hello. Editing Tacarsha here. I'm just gonna end the video here and upload it and hope for the best. If you feel so inclined, you should like and subscribe and turn on post notifications and comment and send this video to someone and post it on your Instagram story and be like, go watch Tacarsha's YouTube channel. And then you should also, like, probably print off a poster and then tell them, okay. Bye. Thank you for watching.